What up, what up, what up, world? It's your boy J Star back again. We got the final look at the week 8 slate here, man. We're gonna get into this as we always do, breaking down from injury reports first. And let's see, do I got the right teams up so far? Yes, I do. Okay, so it is looking like we got the Saints and the Colts first up here. It is no injuries, I think, for the Saints here, besides one of their tackles possibly being out there. For the Colts, though, we got Julius Brents, who's going to line up on the side with Michael Thomas. If you want to be a little bit contrarian, you can definitely probably take some Michael Thomas this week. Also, we have questionable Moss, so I think Jonathan Taylor is going to be a little bit more in play because of that. Kylan Granson is out too at tight end for the Colts. And it looks like one of their tackles is going to be out too as well. Okay, so moving on from that game, we got the Patriots and the Dolphins here, and it's looking like, let's see, so what we got here? A tackle out for the Patriots. Besides that, looks like everything else is just questionable and stuff. Nothing's out against for the Dolphins. Everybody is just questionable. Okay, so then we move on from there. And it looks like, who was even questionable here? It looks like Jalen Ramsey is questionable too. Don't know if he's really gonna play though. They might give him another week. For the Jets and the Giants here though, it's looking like we have doubtful for who is this? Oh, just a backup receiver here for the Jets. Other than that, looks like their center is out though for the Jets. And then the Giants side of things, we got Brightwell is going to be out. So backup running back is out. Daniel Jones is out. One of their tackles is doubtful, and the rest it looks like questionable. So wonder if some of their line is coming back besides this one that's going to be doubtful and out for sure probably. Then we got the Eagles and the Commanders here. It's looking like, so they got Reed, is Blankenship is back because I know he's been out for a minute. It's looking like Bradley Roby is going to be out. So backup cornerback, I believe, to Slate. So not much to really worry about there. And on the other side here, Commanders, we got linebacker Cody Barton is going to be out, which he's an inside linebacker. So possibly in the run or something like that, or attacking maybe a little bit in the middle of the field with the tight end Goddard or something like that. Could possibly work there. Other than that, don't see anything else that's out there. So then we move on to the Vikings and the Packers here. Vikings have linebacker. It's going to be out. Brian, I think he's a backup though, linebacker. So don't think that's going to really affect them too much. Hawkinson limited practice, so most likely he's good to go. And then on the Packers side, Jair is questionable. I don't think he's going to play. They say he did not practice. I think he's not going to play, which is going to just be well for Addison, if anything. And then it looks like questionable for Devondre Campbell. If he ends up playing, then the run should not be as great of a pick to pick their running backs, I would think, because he's been one of the reasons why the run has not been just been exploited so bad lately for against the Packers. And then Musgrave did not practice. I don't think he's going to end up playing. And that's about it for there. We're gonna move on to this next game. We got the Texans and the Panthers here. It looks like the Texans have tight end Brevin Jordan, which is a backup tight end for them, is out. Sheldon Rankins, defensive tackle, he's out. And we got Robert Woods is going to be out. So he has two wide receivers then. It's going to get probably a lot of targets to Tank Dell, and then you're talking about Collins then at that. And then for the other side here, for the Panther side, we have safety Von Bell is going to be still out. Laviska Shenault is going to be out. And it looks like everything else is just questionable, and most likely everything else will be playing. Then we got the Rams and the Cowboys. It looks like from the Rams side, we got hamstring for Hunter Long, so backup tight end is out. And that's about it. Nothing else there for the Cowboys. Everything is good. Nothing is out here. For the Falcons, though, we got linebacker Tay Davis is going to be out for concussion. Besides that, there's no other injuries to report. For the Titans, though, we got Roger McCreary. He's going to be out, which that's their slot cornerback. The only thing is about the Falcons is they don't really have a slot wide receiver. They run a lot of 21, so it's two wide receivers, and both their wide receivers are kind of wide receivers, so they don't really play in the slot. Their slot receiver is basically Jonnu Smith, so if you want to take shots at Jonnu Smith, you definitely can this week, because Pitts even lines out wide too as well. And so then it looks like besides that, yeah, there's nothing really else to report other than Tannehill being out, of course, and they're gonna go with two quarterbacks. So I wouldn't even take a shot at their quarterbacks this week. Um, and then it's like what we got here: Jaguars and the Steelers here. Who we got first? Jaguars here. It looks like wide receiver Zay Jones still out. Cornerback Gregory Jr. He's out. I believe he's a backup cornerback. I thought I saw just a minute ago, but he is going to be out, or maybe was he for sure the backup cornerback? Because I also thought that could go well for what I want to say Pickens. So that could be a good spot for Pickens because of one of their cornerbacks is out. But I really do believe that he is the backup. So, but Pickens is still a good play there. And then Steelers here, we got nobody's out for the Steelers. Everything's good to go there. Browns and the Seahawks. I mean, we already know for the Brown side, quarterback is out. They're going to go with PJ Walker again. Besides that, everybody is healthy. For the Seahawks, though, we got defensive tackle is going to be out in Austin. And then we got doubtful for their guard, Haynes. And that's about it. And then for the Bengals and the 49ers here, we have Chase Brown running back for the Bengals. So it looks like one of the backup running backs is going to be out. Linebacker, Akeem Davis, he's out. So that possibly could be well for Kittle too as well. He was already in a good spot to me anyways. And then for the 49ers, we got wide receiver Debo is still out. Brock Purdy is questionable. And Trent Williams is still questionable and he did not practice. So I wonder if he's even going to be able to play. And is Brock Purdy going to clear tomorrow for Saturday? So we'll keep an eye on that. Besides that, we got the Ravens and the Cardinals here. It looks like we got a hamstring for Marcus Williams. The safety for the Ravens is going to be out. Cardinals here, we got linebacker Chris Barnes is going to be out. And then also, who else we got here? Defensive tackle Strong is going to be out. And then a guard is going to be out. So they're pretty banged up here for the Cardinals, it looks like. Doubtful also Kyler Murray, of course, because I don't think he's going to come back at all anyways. Kansas City and the Broncos, we got Nick Bolton is out. That would have been something good for the Broncos if Dolchich was there, but without Dolchich, I don't really see much of that helping them at all. And then there's nobody out for the Broncos. And then that's it. Looks like, yeah. So we're good there. Let's get right into this, man. Get my notes up so we can get through this really quickly. So far here, hold on, let me see where my notes at real quick. Okay, pulling that up, great. Okay, so we got the first game here in the Houston and the Carolina game. This should be a good game, man. A battle of the two first round pick quarterbacks here. For Stroud, I'm definitely looking at Pierce because it's still a really good spot for him. I think he can have a huge game for himself, man. I know a lot of people probably ain't even really thinking about him playing well. He's been having a bad season so far, but I do think this is a good spot for him, even on the road. Just got a really good team too as well. Nico Collins and Tank Dell is going to be in play here. Only two receivers he's really got here. I mean, without Woods, I don't know who else is, unless they're going to toss in Mechie, but I believe, well, they probably will toss in Mechie, matter of fact, because Mechie is a slot receiver. So for $3,000, if you want to take some shots there, you could. But I definitely feel like it's going to go to Nico and Dale for the most part. And then for what I want to say, on the other side then from this game, we're looking at Bryce Young and Thielen still being his best spot. I feel like because he gets the lineup too on away from the best cornerbacks that are on the Texans defense there. Also, I said before who would have been in play is Hurst. But they haven't really been going to their tight end enough for us to put in Hurst. If they was actually targeting him, he would be a good spot for him. For the Rams and the Dallas here, we got Stafford. Since this is a man defense, we're going to be looking at his best receiver, Cup, because they haven't really figured out how to, get the ball to Puka the best way against a man defense yet. Plus, he might end up lining up with Gilmore. Besides, Cup won't. So it will probably be a big Cup day, and then that's about it for that side. Prescott, he has Pollard, of course. I would say also he has Lamb here. And then he even has Ferguson. And if you're just looking at for the passing game of it, then yeah, Lamb or Ferguson will be a good place to go for that game right there. And we move on. We got Minnesota and the Green Bay Packers here. Well, if Jair is out, man, they're gonna be in for it because I just feel like Cousins will be definitely able to have his number one wide receiver now in Addison to go to. Also, he can even take some shots at Hawkinson. It's not been a thing that the Packers have really given up too much of. It's been more of the receivers. So Addison, and also I would say I think Powell was lined up in the slot, so you can even take shots there at 3,200 because the slot has also been a way to attack the Packers defense. For Jordan Love here, Aaron Jones, I guess he's fully cleared. At home, maybe you want to take some shots there. They probably will try to lean on him, a lot. But wide receiver wise, they've been throwing to Dobbs a lot. And also, I would even possibly take some shots at Reed, being because in the zone style defense, this is the two that have been doing well before Watson even showed up. So I would say these two. I don't think Musgrave is going to end up playing, so I'm not going to mention Musgrave. He had a walking boot, so on after the game. So I don't think, and they're the Packers are very cautious of how they play their players. So then for Carr and Minshew here, I think this is a really good game. Could turn out to be a really good game. I mean, Carr's issue is the touchdowns, man. He just doesn't throw enough of them, but he does put the 300 yards up. So, and he's been throwing crazy to Kamara, so you got to put Kamara in there. Like I said before, Chris Olave is in a good spot here, but even a better spot is Michael Thomas because he lines up on the side where the cornerback now is going to be the backup cornerback since the number one cornerback is out. So if you want to come off of taking Olave being chalk probably and be a little bit contrarian, you could save $1,500 there and get you Michael Thomas possibly in for a big game. Also want to mention because of Hopkins was also had his best game against his team, and I believe also he lines up on the left side too. So, and he had one of his best games against the Colts. So, older wide receiver, veteran wide receiver had one of his best games. I don't see why Michael Thomas couldn't do the same. He's also getting targeted like every game consistently, 7, 8, 7. If he ends up breaking for 100 yards possibly or something like that in one game, catches most of the targets or something like that, he possibly gets 100 yards. Probably gets in the end zone again. I think he does get in the end zone again in this game. But I'm not knocking that. Chris Olave also could have a huge game. But like I said, if you just want to be a little bit contrarian there, you can definitely take Michael Thomas. Also, it looks like I saw Taysom Hill might be what's going on with him. Chest, so who knows about that. Him being out could also end up going more well for. I know Juwan Johnson is also he's in play too. Juwan Johnson will be in play because the Colts linebackers isn't that good. So if the Hill is out, I wouldn't mind taking shots for $3,000 for Juwan Johnson too as well. On the other side of that game, though, we got Minshew. Jonathan Taylor's definitely gonna be in play, especially if Zach Moss ends up being ruled out. At home, the way the Colts is playing, I told y'all they look like the Lions at home, for the last 2 years that we've seen. And then I would say for other than that, Josh Downs in the best spot here. Going against the Saints, slot cornerbacks is where you want to attack them. And I definitely believe these two right here is probably the way to go with, especially with Minshew and his rushing ability too at home has been crazy. So then we got New England and Miami here. Of course, Tua, it's pretty simple here. We can go with Mostert, and Hill. It's probably the best spots here. I know they're gonna double and try to take away Hill. If you want to be different and take Waddle, you can go ahead. But they just been, finding still ways no matter what people have tried to scheme up against Hill to get him the ball, man. So it's been very hard to stop that, and I would definitely still stick with it. I mean, like I said, you can still take a savings of what is that, $2,000 savings of Waddle, and probably. Maybe in this game actually get those same type of results we would get from Hill since it is a rivalry and they're going to try to take away their best threat right there. Also though, if Mostert, let's see what's going on because it was questionable. If he ends up not playing though, we do got Jeff Wilson down here 4,500, so you can take that savings and that might allow you to actually get Tyreek Hill. Let's see, for the New England side of things, though, we got Mac Jones in a spot where, once again, like I told y'all, if his tight ends are able to do well, then he can do well. So, and this is a game where the tight end is one of the teams that the Miami Dolphins are vulnerable to give up points to. So, definitely a Mac Jones. You can stack him with either one of these tight ends. I feel like Henry has been known to get the most targets. Gesicki has just came off of a game where he just got a touchdown. And I know Bourne, I can't remember let me look at what defense he just played. Because I could have swore this is a zone-style defense right here. Which I noticed he's been doing good against all the zone-style defense. Yeah, that was a zone-style defense. I think Miami, though, plays a little bit more man. So I don't expect him to have the type of game he just came off of. And then we got the Giants and the Jets here, Battle of New York game. We got Tyrod Taylor. Saquon Barkley is in a good spot here. For I don't think there's really any receivers. The Jets have a really good cornerbacks and things like that. Plus they play man style defense, and I haven't really seen much working out for those receivers. But Darren Waller is definitely in play here for sure because they have been getting up the tight end position. So if you want to do that stack, you can definitely take that, or just roll with Darren Waller by itself or Saquon. For the other side, Zach Wilson, man, still having a hard time here. I think it's just basically just Brees Hall. I don't think it's really anybody for Zach Wilson to take. Um, yeah, it's not. No, it's really not anybody. So I'm just gonna say Brees Hall, man, is their best bet of doing well in this game. Besides that, we're gonna keep it moving here. We got Jacksonville and Pittsburgh here. So Trevor Lawrence, as long as he's able to play, we got ETN. We got two of his receivers definitely could be in play. I would lean a little bit more to Ridley just because he remains kind of out wide, even though they run a lot of 12. Kirk is not officially like a slot receiver in the 12 since there's only two wide receivers out there anyways, and there's two tight ends. But he does run routes like a slot receiver. Like he's running towards the middle, coming across the middle. They did also use Agnew in that slot area too. So if you want to take some shots there since Zay is out, you could for $3,000 if you think he's going to come up with the touchdown. But definitely I feel like Ridley is probably in for probably a better game here. Bounce back game for him over Kirk. But I don't mind you taking shots at either one of them. They're only $100 apart anyways. But definitely ETN is in a really good spot there against the rush. Pittsburgh side of things, my best play to me is just going to be Pickens. He's been actually doing really well against like man-style defenses and things like that. But Jacksonville actually is running I think a little bit more zone now. But it hasn't really mattered because the Rams run complete zone, and he actually showed up and did well. So Baltimore runs man, so he did really good against them. Like I said, his man days are really good. Like Cleveland runs man, but for him to actually finally show up, maybe they was able to finally scheme up a good game plan for him against a zone style defense, and maybe it works again against Jacksonville this week. So definitely I would say you could take shots there. But also we do know Deontay Johnson is usually their zone style receiver too as well. Atlanta and Tennessee here, we had an injury report here, right? So I remember I said the cornerback in the slot is going to be hurt. So you can still take shots at Drake London. He's going to be out wide. And we have seen receivers get some points, but it's been that slot area anyways. And it's like I told y'all before, their slot receiver is Jonnu Smith, man. He's lined up and had more targets in the slot area than every receiver here. So if you just want to take a shot at Jonnu Smith or just need, to take a cheap tight end or something like that, you can definitely take that. If you want to roll with Ritter in a stack with also, putting in London, you can do that too as well. Because he's been playing really good, so in Tennessee is look like they're kind of falling apart here. Like I told you, I really don't have nothing I really want on this other side. With two backups, coming in, maybe Okongwu finally gets the targets that he should have been getting in against a weak defense, a team, for tight end. So maybe he does hit there with two different quarterbacks. So I just don't know what to really expect there. We got Philadelphia and Washington Commanders here. I wonder if it's really raining. I gotta go check that because I know it was supposed to be a little bit rain here in Pittsburgh for sure. Need to go check this weather for Washington though. But we got Hurts, killed them last time, and it's because he has the number one receiver against man defenses and AJ Brown. Also, we had a linebacker that was supposed to be out for Washington, so also is going to go well for Goddard, and we've seen it already work before with Komet and DJ Moore going off, so having a really good game against Washington, so I don't see why Goddard and AJ Brown can't do the same here. So if you want to stack those two, you can definitely try that out. Sam Howell disappointed me last week, man, and it's just this team is just up and down, and also they have no protection, and they're going against a really tough line here, so I don't know really much to expect here. I will say this though. McLaurin has his best games against Philly. It's something about the zone defense, I don't know, that they play, I guess, against them. But as you see here, And also the cornerback, I believe he lines up with Slate, which is weird, but he plays really good against him, I guess. So he's done well, like, against them, and maybe he does it again. Maybe he's a good run back if you're doing a Philly stack there. I can't really take how, because man, he's the most sacked quarterback in 7 weeks, and if you're not getting protection, it just makes it even harder for you, especially playing a rivalry too at that. So moving on from there, Cleveland and Seattle here. Gino does get back Metcalf, which is probably his best bet, here for a man style defense. I don't really see much else other than the fact that we did just see, who was that we just saw? Downs do well. So maybe let's see what's going on with Lockett here. Hamstring full practice though. Okay, so because they run a lot of 12, they don't run a lot of 11. They've been a little bit implemented in 11 now, so to get JSN in. So maybe if they do that, maybe JSN is able to do well because he gets to not have that matchup of what Metcalf and Lockett is going to have with the cornerbacks out wide. So it probably would be JSN if anything there. Otherwise, I kind of see them kind of struggling here, even at home. But for PJ Walker, I would say it was supposed to be Cooper, but he's not going to probably do too well here because he's on the road here. Also, Elijah Moore does line up in the slot, so I would say it would be Elijah Moore since that's where we've been attacking Seattle at anyways. I think that's about it there. Yeah, because all right, that's about it for that team. And then we got Baltimore and Arizona here. Kyler Murray is more than likely not going to play. Less news change come Saturday, but I think they're going to be a little bit more cautious. I think this is going to be a very hard game for Dobbs. His best receiver would be to go probably to Marquise Brown still, though, because he's had the best, what I want to say. He's been playing the best against man defenses for them. And then maybe they do dump it off the way we saw Gibbs catch 12 passes, something like that, or 12 targets last game. So maybe Demercado can do well if something like that happens to get down big. Could be a pretty decent run back there. But for Lamar's side of things, don't really know which running back is going to be in play. I just kind of stick with Lamar just being the running back. Definitely Flowers is going to be in play, and Odell is in a really good spot. They both line up with the cornerbacks that have been really bad for Arizona, who's been giving up a lot. I thought one of the linebackers was kind of questionable or out here, but I don't think it's the linebacker that kind of sticks the tight end the most and has been doing pretty well for Arizona. But I still could see you taking some shots here for Andrews coming off of a huge game he just had last week too. Moving on from this game here, we got Kansas City and Denver, who just recently played each other. Of course, like I say, anytime Pat Mahomes and Kelsey is supposed to do good, definitely take that stack there for sure. They're playing a zone defense here, and Rice has been really good against the zone defense. So these three, once again, last week was the same three, can do well again though here. On the other side here, kind of think it's going to be really hard for Russell. Just think all these little trade rumors with all his players here. I don't really know what to really expect from that man. I'm trying to I just know he keeps throwing the sudden. So I just could tell y'all that much. He's gonna throw the sudden. Dolchich is still gonna be out, so he's not throwing to the tight end, which is where he should kind of go since Bolton is out. But that's it for that game. We got Cincinnati and 49ers game here. Hopefully Purdy is able to play, man. I expected this to be a good game, even with Purdy playing, with Purdy playing for sure. Wasn't really expecting Darnold, but we do get a 4,300 Darnold going against a really tough defense though. So, it would be better if Purdy was able to go. If he is somehow able to go, of course, McCaffrey's going to be in play. Of course, Ayuk is in play since is one of their receivers they love to throw to against man-style defenses. But Kittle is actually in the best spot here. So I would think more of a Christian McCaffrey Kittle type of thing would be a better spot. Even especially I think if Darnold is even there, I think probably Kittle is probably his best option of him throwing the ball to somebody out there in the field and having safer targets to throw to, because it's what I would say, A-Dot is kind of shorter than where Ayuk is probably going to be at on that field. And of course McCaffrey is just handing it off and dumping it off to him should be easy, even if you want to take a Darnold at 4,300 there. On the other side here though, Burrow definitely gonna be in play with Chase. And also, I don't mind, even taking shots at Higgins, even though I know he lines up with Ward, but Ward did get the ball snatched out of his hands for a 60-yard bomb before halftime last week by a rookie. So, and now you're going against like a 6'4" receiver, with speed too. So, definitely could see him getting mossed or something like that. If they come out there trying to bomb on the San Francisco 49ers, which I think they will try to do since this team plays 11, they do pass a lot, one of the most in the league. I can see them really trying to get up huge so they can force San Francisco to have to pass the ball and not be able to run and control the game at home. So either one of these receivers or both of these possibly could be a nice stack with Burrow this week. And I know a lot of people might be a little bit scared to do that because it is the 49ers. But I can definitely see that happening. So then, this is looking at my final look at this, man. I'm thinking about going with my guy Stroud, man. I really like the way he's been playing. And I think I'm gonna go very, very contrarian play here for my running back here because I don't think a lot of people are gonna take Pierce, but I'm going to go ahead and take him here even on the road. I think you should be able to run on Carolina, man. If you can't run on them, then maybe he just can't get it going at all this season. But with the run going well for them, I do think that's going to help him be able to throw the ball to his favorite receiver here in Nico Collins. He's also has I think a cornerback. Henderson has been doing pretty bad this season, so been giving up some big yards. So I definitely think that matchup should bode well for Nico Collins there. And then it's looking like, what else do I want to take here? I'm gonna go with a different stack here. I'm gonna take see, where is he at? I'm gonna go ahead and take Chris Olave, but I'm going to run back though Jonathan Taylor here. Think Jonathan Taylor getting in the end zone. What was that, on the road or was that at home too? That was at home. So, but the targets was at 4. He was just coming off of having 6 targets. If we can get 6 targets and 18 touches this game, I think definitely he can do well. Especially if somehow Zach Moss is limited or not able to go at all. Definitely feel like he could be a really good run back there with the Chris Olave stack. So then, besides that, I think for my tight end, I'm going to get me a late tight end here play. And I'm going to go ahead and take Kittle. And I'm going to go for my defense right here. And I'm going to take a little late in the day defense here in the Browns there. I really love the Browns defense so far. They just been elite. And then for my last 2 plays here, at receiver, I'm going to take some savings here and take a shot at Odell finally having his best game against the Cardinals, whose defense has been really, really bad on the side where he lines up at. Even though I know he's been, his snap count's been pretty low. It was a little bit higher for the first time, I think, even than Bateman. And also, I think even in Aguilar too last week. So definitely feel like this could be the game where he possibly gets it in the touchdown. So here at the end here, we got my flex here, man. And I got a couple of options here, which I like a lot. Or actually, probably like 3 options that I like a lot. Chase, Barkley, and A. Brown here, man. Really like this, but I'm going to go ahead and go with the run back against Kittle, man, to finish that off. And that is my final look lineup, man. We got the Stroud stack. Of course, when we got the Saints game stack. And we got the San Francisco stack and a couple of one-offs there at the end there. So, and that is my final look. Hopefully, this cash is big. So go ahead and put it in if you want to. It's your boy J Star. Good luck this week, and I'm out. Peace.